welcome to my channel. I'm Kelsey Fox. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. So I am curious, y'all. What are you afraid of? Has there ever been a situation where fear saved your life? You know, hindsight's 2020. You gave into your fear and you realized it was a good thing? Or was there a situation where you gave into your fear and you regretted it later because you missed out on an opportunity? Let me know in the comments below.
I've always wanted to go to space. I'd love to see all the stars, the moon, the sun, the earth. How marvelous it would be. Thrilling. And what would it feel like? I'm sure I'd get this whole new feeling. Not being on the planet anymore would totally psych me out. Would I get anxious? Would I be excited? Would I feel free? I've had weird thoughts before, and temporary moments of anxiety. Like, I'm trapped. I'm even trapped on this planet. I can't get off this rock. So if I was in space, would I feel free? Or would I feel even more trapped in incomprehensible vastness of space? It's so big. It might as well be small, like it's practically nothing when you consider the distances between planets and things. How easily I could die out in space. Then I thought, if I had the opportunity, would I even go? Or would fear of death, or even fear of uncomfortableness, freeze me from seizing the chance? Considering we could die at any moment due to any number of freak accidents or health issues, it doesn't really matter what we do, does it? I mean, with exceptions, of course, like trying to tightrope walk for the first time over a cliff would not be equal risk to driving. If fear were to stop me, would it save my life? Or would it prevent me from a life-changing, rare experience?
And life is full of decisions like that, or at least more probable decisions. You know, like, do you take that trip to the beach, or are you afraid you're going to get in a car crash? Do you take that flight on a vacation, or are you afraid of flying? Fear originally was a good thing. As humans were evolving, fear saved our life. And fear can save our lives because of the fight or flight response that most of us are familiar with. When a human encounters danger, the amygdala, which is like the control center of the brain, it's the amygdala, an area of the brain that contributes to emotional processing, sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus. You know, and our heart starts racing and we start sweating, you know, and like we get an adrenaline rush, and that's really what saves us, is that adrenaline rush, causing us either to fight the threat or run away from the threat, or we'll get in a third option later. And those of us who had fear of spiders, for example, they'd see a black widow spider and run away, or they'll kill it. Whereas someone who wasn't afraid of the black widow spider might go up to it and pick it up and play with it, and all of a sudden they get bit and they die and they can't reproduce. But the person who was afraid of spiders reproduces, passes on that fear, and to this day, those of us who are afraid of spiders leave the black widows alone, and we have a better chance of surviving.
When we face a perceived threat, our body reacts in one of three ways. Most of us know two of the ways: the fight or flight response. If the threat is beatable, we enter the fight response. If it's unbeatable, we enter the flight response. But the third reaction isn't as well known, and it's if it's unbeatable and we don't think we can outrun it, we freeze. And I was actually going to read an excerpt from Psychology Today. I'll add the link in the top of the screen. And this is about the freeze response. Say you're attacked by a ferocious dog who's sunk his teeth into your neck and you're totally at his mercy. In such an alarming instance, you'd experience trepidation, panic, horror, dread, and these extreme feelings would be so fraught with anxiety, so laden with terror, that almost no one is gifted with the resources required to stay fully in the present, which is precisely what's needed to process emotional and physical completion or release of what so frighteningly besieges you. Under such unnerving circumstances, freezing up or numbing out, disassociating from the here and now is about the only and, in various instances, the best thing you can do. Being physically, mentally, and emotionally immobilized by your consternation permits you not to feel the harrowing enormity of what's happening to you, which in your hyper aroused state might threaten your very sanity. In such instances, some of the chemicals you thereby secrete, i.e., endorphins, function as an analgesic, so the pain of injury to your body or psyche is experienced with far less intensity.
To sum it up, basically what's happening to you is so horrific your mind can't take it. So you just have an out of body experience per se. Like you're not see because like when you're in the fight flight response, your senses are heightened and you've got an adrenaline rush. But if you can't do anything about that, you freeze instead. So you kind of uh, your body's because your senses are so heightened, you would be experiencing it even more intensely, which if you can't escape, that would be horrible. So you freeze and disassociate, you're not paying attention to what's going on, and then it's easier to live.
And the fight, flight, or freeze response system can make our lives worse than if it didn't exist. Like in social situations, if we get scared of something, we get scared of public speaking, our fear actually makes us worse. Because we're so scared, we freeze up, we ramble and stutter and say and and like, you know? And if only our fear of speaking made us more confident and slowed our brain down a little bit so that we could speak clearly and concisely. But instead, just stammers us up.
Another example would be if we're responding to a threat that we can't do anything about. Like, let's say we're at work and a customer, is angry at us and we have to remain calm in order to deal with them. Or, there's fireworks and the loud boom scares us, but it's not a threat even though our body thinks it's a threat. And then that can cause us stress, and stress can weaken our immune system. It can make us sick, things like that. So there's a lot of things that stress us out in the modern world, and we go through that fight, flight, or freeze response system, and it actually makes us worse. The freeze response can actually prevent us from taking care of the threat.
There are techniques to calm yourself down. Focus on your breathing. If you're so scared you're hyperventilating or you're just holding your breath, focusing on breathing can really help. It sends a signal to our brain that it's okay, calm down. Exercise helps, get your blood flowing. Get your blood pumping. That helps too. And social situations, social support. Reach out to your friends. Say, help me. I need you. Hopefully you all have friends you can reach out to.
And hope. Hope is the best defense against fear. Whatever you're afraid of, if you can turn it around and hope instead of fear, it really helps. Hope conquers fear. So is fear a gift? Does it keep you alive? Or is fear a curse? Does it prevent you from otherwise enthralling experiences? The answer, of course, as I covered, is it's complicated and it depends on the situation. So when your mind perceives a threat and your body goes into a state of fear, you either react to that fear by fighting it, running away from it, or freezing until it's over. Which, if it's a real, legit, tangible threat, these responses work great and get you out of danger. But if it's not a real tangible threat, like if you freak out because of something outside of your control, like you stress out about, let's say the condition of the world, and there's nothing you actually can really do, nothing that flighting or freezing can do, the best thing is to use logic. So when you encounter a threat that you can't defeat using these three things, the best thing to do is you've got to just work through your mind. You got to just be like, okay, this threat isn't real, or it is real, but there's nothing I can do about it. So you've got to get your body out of that zone. You got to calm yourself down using those techniques I mentioned. But, so overall, depending on the situation, fear can either be a gift or a curse. It's all about balance.
So goal check-in. How is your goal going this month? Let me know. I'm so excited to hear. My goal went all right. So my goal was to do cardio every Thursday after work. So the first Thursday I did it. The second Thursday I wasn't feeling it too much, so I went to Walmart and parked far away, so that kind of counted. And then the Thursday after that I was sick, so I went hiking on Tuesday. And then this last Thursday I did cardio again, yay! So my new goal is to I don't have a new goal because I want to just solidify my routine. I've been super stressed out lately and just worrying about things out of my control and remembering past traumas, So I just want to refocus on getting my routine cemented down, keep working out on Thursdays after work. And that's okay. Sometimes you need to just take a month to make sure you got what you got.
But what about you? Do you have a new goal for this month? Or are you just going to keep working at the one that you set already? Let me know.
So once again, thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Did a lot more with editing this time around.
I found this website that has the stock footage that you saw, which was obviously very professional looking, and I'll link that up above too.
So, and I hope you like my silly spider costume. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. See you next time.